There are a number of new members of the House of Representatives who really should already resign or be impeached. And at the very top of that list is Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Some people are calling her Bobo the Clown. That we're not doing that, but there are people who are doing that. Her name is Lauren Boebert. She is one of the people who objected to having to go through a metal detector to get onto the House floor. She wants to be armed on the House floor. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's the person I'm talking about. And allegations have been swirling that she may have been complicit in the riotous pro-Trump insurrection on January 6th by having given tours to the eventual radical insurrectionists of the Capitol building in the lead up to the January 6th riots. Now, we already heard, for example, from Congressman James Clyburn, who said, listen, I have a marked office and I also have an unmarked office where I work as majority whip, or whip, as Frank Underwood would say. Somehow they knew to go right to my unmarked office. That's weird. And on the other side of this puzzle are the allegations that Lauren Boebert was indeed giving constituents tours of the Capitol, which would be one way that the insurrectionists would know exactly where to go. She has denied it, but Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen was interviewed about it and says very clearly he saw Lauren Boebert leading a large group through the Capitol in the days before the riots. He can't say these were the insurrectionists. He's not at a point where he can say that, but it would at least directly contradict Lauren Boebert's claim that she did no such thing. Let's take a look at the video.
That's remarkable. Remarkable to hear. I want to ask you about something specific, because several of your colleagues have alleged that the rioters may have received inside help, including raising the prospect of tours conducted or with the okay of fellow sitting members of Congress. This is quite a charge to make. Have you seen any hard evidence to substantiate that allegation?
Only thing that I've seen, Congressman Yarmouth refreshed my recollection yesterday. We saw Congressman Boebert taking a group of people for a tour sometime after the 3rd and before the 6th. I don't remember the day. We were walking in a tunnel. We saw her and commented who she was, and she had a large group with her. Now, whether they were people that were involved in the insurrection or not, I do not know. She was a freshman. She might have had a large number of people coming to be with her on this historic occasion and just wanting to give them the opportunity to have a tour. But it was pretty clear that her team is the team. She's not on the home team. She was with the visitors.
So Lauren Boebert is denying this. And there's a few different things here that might be going on because there's cameras everywhere. There's guest books. It is certainly knowable whether Lauren Boebert was leading a crowd of people, whether it was an official tour or something else around the Capitol. This is information authorities are able to get. So why hasn't anyone come out and said, we have the video, she did do it, or we've reviewed, she didn't do it? Excuse me. One idea is that the feds, much like they often do, are waiting for her to make specific claims that are lies before they present her with the evidence to the contrary. There's maybe a political aspect to it. One idea, I got an email from someone saying, maybe the feds are waiting to release the evidence that Lauren Boebert did this for the inauguration, simply to prevent any even minute possibility that Trump would think to pardon her. Maybe they're waiting for the evidence to pile up and for her to lie about it. But there is no doubt that it is knowable whether Lauren Boebert and other members of Congress were giving tours through the Capitol. And by the way, if it's all recorded, it's probably knowable whether the people that she was allegedly giving a tour to were later involved in the January 6th riots. So for a ton of this stuff, just in general, these questions apply to the Trump family investigations as well. It makes some sense to wait until after the inauguration to really scale up the investigations into Trump Organization criminal and financial wrongdoing, just so that Donald Trump's presidential power is over. As I said earlier, we are going to see the Trump family hit with many investigations as well. But this needs to be figured out. Lauren Boebert's office did not immediately respond to questions from Talking Points memo about, she denies that there was a tour, but Steve Cohen says he saw her doing it. How could both be true? Do you have a comment? No comments so far. But if we're looking for any signal about what may be to come, Lauren Boebert's communications director has already quit. Now, I know you're saying she's been in office a few days. What do you mean? Yes, Lauren Boebert's communications director has already quit. Now, in terms of the broader issue of some of these wacky new members of Congress, we've got Lauren Boebert. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call her QAnon Congresswoman. There's this guy, Madison Cawthorn, who has talked about having multiple firearms on him on his wheelchair when he's on the floor of the House of Representatives. This is a very bad direction for the country to be going in. And my instinct is when it comes to Boebert versus Marjorie Taylor Greene, I want you to gut check me on this. And I tweeted about this over the weekend. When I see Lauren Boebert, I see someone who is more of an opportunist and who may go too far and end up in prison or expelled from Congress for her antics. But I see her more as a calculated opportunist. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I see as an actual committed QAnon nut who really has drank the Kool-Aid. And I could see her either as a cult member or even a cult leader, although she doesn't necessarily seem smart enough to be a cult leader. She doesn't seem manipulative enough to be a cult leader. But that's where I see the difference between Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious to see where you fall on this.